All right, welcome to another episode of Biscayne Stories, where neighbors meet neighbors. Today we have Julia Lewkowitz. She is co-founder of She Speaks. She Speaks is an organization that provides online classes to girls in Brazil so they can learn English. So, Julia, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's nice to be here.
Now, thank you for joining us. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from?
Okay, my name is Julia, obviously, and I was born here in the United States from my two parents who immigrated from Brazil in 1998. I currently go to Ransom Everglades. I'm a rising sophomore here, and I live in Key Biscayne.
Awesome. So She Speaks. How did it all start? Why did you guys start doing this?
Well, me and my friend Daniela Castelo, we are both we have background in Brazil. Daniela was born in Brazil and immigrated here when she was younger, and I have my entire family's from there. So first we have our background is from there, so it kind of gave us a passion for it. And second, the other reason is we want to give girls in Brazil the opportunity to learn English and do what they want with it. And also the public schools in Brazil, they don't have a great system.
Mm-hmm.
So this will allow them to learn a foreign language.
And what's your favorite part of She Speaks right now?
My favorite part is probably connecting with the students. You get to learn about them. I've had people tell me that they want to move to Australia to learn English and talk to people around it. I think it's just the connection between me and my students.
And so, for example, how does it work? Was it like a Zoom? Is it like, let's say I'm a Brazilian student and I find you guys on She Speaks. Is it a website? How do we connect? What's that first step?
Okay, we have a website. It's called shespeaksclasses.org.
Okay.
And students from Brazil directly go on there and they're going to find a Google form in which they fill out, they give what days they're open to do classes, their contact information, their name, their school and stuff like that. And then me and the co-founder Daniela will directly set up an interview for them, and we'll range how their English is and then pair them up with a specific teacher, and they will eventually go on to a WhatsApp conversation and start talking about potential times to have classes. And they set up classes, and in these classes we have conversational classes where they get to practice their English. The teachers will directly comment on what they should improve, and that's basically how it is.
Okay, great. So let me see if I understand. So people connect, they learn about you via the website, they sign up the Google form, then you or Daniela or together will interview this person to see where they stand with their English, and then connect them with the appropriate level teacher.
Exactly.
Right. And then they go on their own to find a time and to meet, and whatever they do via phone or whatever other option they want.
Exactly. And it's on a Google Meet.
And it's on a Google Meet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So this is all for free, right?
Everything's for free.
Everything's for free. Awesome. So you guys, your teachers, tell me about your teachers. How can people become teachers as volunteers?
So kind of becoming volunteers or teachers is kind of the same process as it is for a student. They're going to go onto the website, shespeaksclasses.org. They're going to fill out a form, and then me and Daniela set up an interview. We're going to talk to them about why they want to become a volunteer, like their English level, obviously. And from there, we just set them up with the student.
And do I need to speak Portuguese and English?
So most of the volunteers that we have, we like them speaking English and Portuguese, just because most of the students don't speak English. They just have a basic understanding. So having that Portuguese allows you to actually fully communicate with them. So for right now, we just have people that speak Portuguese and English.
Got it. And who can become a student? Is there a age range? Is this for a particular group of individuals, or?
Well, obviously they have to be girls, just because we want that connection between the student and teacher.
Perfect.
And the age range can be from 10 to 18. So it's a very large age range. just because we want them to be like focused on what they're doing and have like the connection again.
And the teachers also, are they also young as well, or
Yeah, but
it varies?
they're usually like a little bit older, so they'll be like 14 through 18.
Okay. So okay, I gotcha. All right,
Mm.
cool. So let's go a little bit more about like your background. How did you guys end up here in Key Biscayne?
Well, I originally lived in Brickell Key with my parents, and then my mother divorced. They both divorced. So my mom went to Key Biscayne, and my dad lives in Brickell Key now. So I kind of live in both places, but I mostly stay in Key Biscayne. And that's kind of how I started. Daniela, on the other hand, she originally lived in Key Biscayne, but now she lives in Weston and is attending Cypress Bay.
And how did you and Daniela meet?
We actually were in elementary school together. I think in fifth grade, we were together. And then in like seventh grade, we went to the beach together. And then she started talking about this idea. And I was like, that's such a good idea. And we jumped on it. And it took like a year to finish this project, but we finally finished it.
What would you say was one of the biggest challenges you guys had when developing this idea?
Well, first, it's really like complicated. You need a lot of organizational skills because there's so much to do. Like you have to have a bunch of forms. There's people signing up. There's not enough teachers for like how many students there are. So it kind of gets like chaotic sometimes. But other than that, like I think if me and Daniela communicated very well, so we like were able to like keep organized the entire like process of creating She Speaks and continue to be very organized and communicating to each other.
So would you say that communication between you and Daniela was key
Yeah,
to
it
make
was
She
definitely
Speaks?
key. It was definitely key because then we could split the work. We split who does what and finish more in a short period of time than we would be doing if we were like not communicating.
Got it. Um, I've been an entrepreneur in the past, so and I know that the hurdles sometimes are bigger in your mind than what they actually are.
Mhm.
What would you say from the process, from idea to actually making it happen? Did you also experience something similar like I did? Was it harder than you thought, or was it actually not bad as you moved forward, or what was your experience?
Well, my experience personally is like I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Like, and then I think I kind of like disregarded how hard it was gonna be at the time. But after a while, when I started really getting into it, like when we started like finishing the website, I realized like how much work it was going to be in, and I completely accepted it. Like I wanted to do this. So, but now I completely understand all the work that we put into this and running this.
Got it. What role did you take on the most? Like, how did you guys divide the work?
Well, we worked together on the website, so we were just doing stuff like different stuff at the same time. So she would be working with like the designing, putting the information, and I would be working on like the Google like Docs to help teachers like run classes.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like that.
Okay. What would you recommend to other young boys and girls that are thinking about doing their own ideas? How would you encourage them?
Well, I think it's a great idea. If you like, it gives you like new like skills that you didn't have before. Like you go out of your way to talk to other people. It gives you like more openness because now you're having conversations with a ton of people that you wouldn't have met before. And I think it's a great opportunity and a great like learning experience for everyone.
So when did you guys launch?
So we launched a couple months ago. I think it was around 2 or 3 months ago.
Amazing.
Mhm.
I honestly thought you guys were around longer, but this is great. So 2, 3 months ago. So how many students do you have right now?
Well, the amount of students was very surprising to us because we actually like as soon as we launched, we had around like 16 to 18 students already sign up in our Google Forms to start classes with us.
That's so how did that feel to starting like a couple of months ago and all of a sudden you have 16 students ready to learn English?
It was kind of overwhelming, I would say, because we're like, oh my God, we have to like first like find all these teachers for all these students and like figure out how they're like have interviews with them, figure out their level. So it was kind of overwhelming at the same time, but it was like really exciting at the same time because like we were like, oh my God, like all our hard work just like paid off right there.
Yeah, it must be cool to you launch a project, an idea, and all of a sudden it's like a form of validation. People are actually you need this, and you
Mm.
have 16 students ready to learn English. So your teachers then, you only have 2 months to get out there. You have how many teachers so far?
We only have two currently, but we're still looking for more.
Got it. Got it. So we have to spread the word then for those
Yeah.
listening that we need teachers for She Speaks.
Yeah, we do.
So as you, I'm sure you'll find people who want to volunteer sometime, you know, throughout the week or whenever to help people learn English. So looking to the future, let's say, I like to ask this question. Let's say you had no limitations, you had resources available. Where will you like She Speaks to be?
Well, there was a couple places that I see She Speaks, and I want to open She Speaks to a lot more languages. That's
Mhm.
one of my like goals, hopefully eventually. Um, Open it to like Spanish, to like French, to a bunch of different languages, so everyone can have this opportunity, not just Brazilians. But I think that would be like that's my like vision for She Speaks eventually. It's a far one, but for right now, I think this is a good start considering everything that we've been through.
But I like it. It's seems reasonable and realistic. So if you guys did Portuguese,
Mhm.
I'm sure Spanish and other languages is super doable. So good luck, good luck, good luck. Um, so what would you say from the process? How did you grow? How did you learn?
Well, I think over the time that we were creating She Speaks, I definitely became more organized and more like focusing on the big like issues and disregarding the small ones. So like kind of focusing on the bigger picture.
Mm.
And I also think that over the course of just like talk, like I get to talk to a lot of people, and I've never been the most extroverted type of person. So having this opportunity and like needing to talk to a bunch of people to like schedule interviews, to make connections between the students, to talk to people just how they made their nonprofit or other companies, like really like got me like more involved with the community and gave me like an opportunity to learn more about like how to be an entrepreneur.
So let's go back to the classes. What can I expect if I'm a student? What do we talk about? Is there like a structure to that?
Yeah, so if you look on the shespeaksclasses.org, teachers have access to a bunch of material in which they can like take classes from and like base their classes on those things. So there's like docs on like how they can base their class on like talking about food, traveling, sports, anything really. It's like teachers are open to all of that. So students would be like kind of experiencing all these different types of like cultures and which they can talk about. We also give like teachers PowerPoints
Yeah.
in which they can like explain like grammar because that's a big one. There's a lot of grammar ones that we have aside. It's not in the website currently, but we have it aside, which we do give it to teachers. So students can definitely um, look forward to having these PowerPoints given like right in front of them.
Okay. And it's cool because these are things that are natural for them to talk about. And it's not like, where's the library? Like they
Exactly.
used to make fun of back in the day, because you guys are learning based on real things you probably talk about with your friends. Oh, what's your
Mhm.
favorite food? Because stuff like that.
Exactly.
Cool. Cool, cool. And I also wanted to ask you, is there like a length for these classes? Is it like a standard, or is it up to the teacher and the volunteer? Or
Well, the base time is 45 minutes, but if the teacher or the student needs to cut it short, or if they want to go longer, they're completely open to go longer. It's completely like conversational and free class.
okay, got it. So I know you guys just started, so it's just the classes and connecting the volunteer with the teacher. Have you guys thought about any other services you would like to add in the near future?
Yeah, so one of our older, this was when we started making it. It was actually one of our ideas too when we would eventually launch it and have a lot more like income and like donations. So on shespeaksclasses.org, our website has a donation tab. And from those donations, we were hoping that eventually we could send boxes of books and things that we can use for their like students' education just to help them inside the class and outside the class. and we could send it to these students boxes of books and class materials just to help them out.
Okay, awesome. So parents, I know you just told me about donations, how we can donate. So remember, those who are listening, I'll put that information in the show notes. There's also on the website that I'll put a link there so you guys can go donate. Parents, I know they're around, and I'm sure they're also an important part of the process. How did you guys get support from your parents?
Well, at least my parents were very like supportive of me doing this, and as soon as they like found out that I was going to start this idea, they jumped on top of it and wanted to help me as much as possible. Like we'll be like having dinners and they'll like give me advice on like how I should do the website. My mom would all be like show me your website, I want to see it, like I want to like see all these things that you're doing. Like she's been like really on top of things when it comes to the website, and I really enjoy that because it gives me like a different perspective, because she tells me things that I never had like an idea for. And my dad has always been like super supportive of it, and Daniela's parents have been great about it too. They also helped so much and has given a lot of advice to us. And my mom also has been like giving me a lot of opportunities to talk to people about my website and Daniela's website. So she's been like giving me opportunities. Like for example, we've been on a podcast. She's been giving us a lot of like opportunities to talk to a bunch of people and allow our website to go out to the public more.
So do you have any advice for people that want to help Brazilians in general?
Well, there's a bunch of organizations directly in Brazil that help a lot of Brazilians. So if supporting those organizations, like my mom has a friend who like makes music classes for Brazilians in public schools. So just getting involved, I would say, is the most important thing. If you want to just help Brazilians or any person in particular, it doesn't have to be Brazilians itself. It could be someone from a completely different country. But I think just getting involved with like small companies, big companies that are their objective is to help.
Got it. I had another question actually about your 16 students. How did you guys first find them? Did you guys do like a little advertising, or was it just word of mouth? How did you guys find those?
So I'm sure like Daniela's parents went out and talked to a bunch of people from like Brazil, because she has a bunch of friends there, and my parents also did that. And my parents told like my cousins, so my cousins told their friends, and it kind of like passed around Brazil. So like it was kind of like all over the place there, since we have like some connections over there from like family and like friends.
Okay, awesome. So I know that we are running out of time, so I have one more question for you about Key Biscayne. What is a perfect weekend for you here in the Key?
I would say my perfect weekend is probably going out to the beach right next to the lighthouse, that beach over there, and with a bunch of friends, and then getting pizza at like Sir Pizza, because I love Sir Pizza, and then just like enjoying the weekends at my house with my friends, and probably going to the community center and stuff like that.
Awesome. Julia, thank you so much for jumping on the show and telling us about She Speaks and all the wonderful work you guys are doing helping people in Brazil, especially young girls, to learn English.
Thank you for having me.